Hey there, YouTubers. I'm out doing something we should all try to do. I'm gonna go for a little hike, a little walk in some nature during all this coronavirus stuff. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the whole coronavirus and how it might affect our viewers. First thing I want to say, I'm just some doofus on YouTube. Please don't take advice from people on social media. That's how people end up going and buying all the friggin' toilet paper because they're scared, and we can all laugh at them. They're scared and they want to think that there's something that they can do, so they go buy toilet paper and then they feel safe. But don't take advice from people on social media. And that's how people end up drinking bleach, for God's sakes. The other thing that's tough right now is if you're watching the news, try to get your news from like the CDC, like real information, or from some long format interviews with experts. What I found is frustrating is you turn the news on and they're interviewing somebody that knows stuff. Well, it ends up the news person doing the interview does all the talking and then says, well, we're out of time. So you don't learn anything, because through all of this, knowledge is power. Oh, come on, people. They're all gonna, yeah. Well, even during the coronavirus, there can still be enough cars to make me irritated. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, it started raining, so this might not be the perfect time to go for a walk in the woods. But I'm gonna turn this camera around and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, because it's easier to concentrate without looking at the camera. Well, I'll keep going for a minute. So my first thought is, I said in a video just a day or two ago, I don't know when this is going to get posted, that I'm really pretty weird that I like never get sick. And my ex-wife, it used to piss her off because she would get sick a lot. My stepson would get sick. Everybody I was around would get sick. I ended up being the person taking care of people, because I just tend not to get sick. Well, what this coronavirus has me realizing, which I already knew, was it's not that I don't get sick. I obviously catch whatever everybody's catching. I just tend not to have the symptoms. I'm messing up. You know, I go to somebody's house and everybody's sick. And I could be around people that you think are the healthiest in the world. You know, they eat the greatest diet in the world. They exercise all the time, and they're always sick. I don't have that. But all of that silliness and explaining it to you goes back to the major problem with this. Most everybody that comes in contact with the coronavirus is not going to get sick. And if they do, it'll be minor symptoms. So this whole social distancing and keeping yourself away from people, it's a society thing where sometimes you do things for other people more than really for yourself. Because I would feel terrible if I'm out there picking this up, have no symptoms, and giving it to somebody who might get really sick. You know, my neighbor's 80 years old. I don't need to get them sick. So the social distancing, although it's killing the market, it's really tough. People are losing all jobs and money, and it's a terrible, horrible thing. My hope is that we can do that for a while, and then the government can catch up and get people tested. And once you're tested, if you know you're sick, well, then we'll deal with those people. If you're not sick, all right, go back to your normal life. So that's my hope. But again, I'm not a virologist. I'm not an epidemiologist. Don't come to YouTube or Instagram or Twitter for information about a pandemic that's sweeping the country. Get your information from real people in real places. My best advice to you is probably the same thing all our grandmothers told us. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth when you cough. Stay away from sick people. That's probably the best advice they're going to give you. And when when you got people thinking it's end of days, world apocalypse, and it's not that. But when you got other people saying, it's nothing, I'm going to carry about my business, again, you probably will be fine. But you might get somebody else sick, really sick, or possibly die. Because we don't have a vaccine for it. When people compare it to the flu, this is way worse than the flu. More people are getting sick and dying. And we don't have a vaccine for it. Alright, so I'm going to shut up for a minute. So as I said, I think what I'm doing is important. If you're in one of the cities that you're on like lockdown, well, obviously follow that. If you're in other places, get out, move around, move your feet, go do something that's going to bring you some enjoyment. Turn the TV off, or at least turn the news off. Start binging some Netflix stuff. Check the news occasionally. Check sources for real information. But this can't become your existence or you're going to lose your mind. And we got enough people already losing their minds. I said also about, I went to the grocery and I was in the produce aisle by myself. You don't have to stock up like it's The Walking Dead. You still have a refrigerator. You still have a freezer. It's just everybody needs to take a breath. So, the RV part of it. I'm going to, this is John Bryan State Park. I'm in Yellow Springs, Ohio. I think it is March 18th. And I feel great. I've been out and about. I haven't been in huge contact with great numbers of people. But, oh man, I wanted to go for a walk. I need to stop raining. I did bring a raincoat, but I don't know if I'm thrilled about the idea of walking in the rain. But, so when it comes to RVing, there is a chance, and anything I'm going to say, I don't know. None of us know what the hell's really going on or how long-term this is all going to be. So, my ideas are guesses and things that fellow RVers might want to keep in mind. People a lot of times when I make the videos ask me, where my next trip. I was planning Canada this summer. Got some ideas of some places in Canada. Well, if you're watching the news today, they had warned of, and then today they announced that they're closing the border. Both sides are in agreement to close the border. Now, is that going to go to summer? No, but maybe. I don't know, because none of us know. Some people on YouTube said that Canada has shut down their national parks. They've shut down a lot of things across the whole country. What I've read here, our national parks haven't closed, but a lot of the things, a lot of when you go to a national park and the places where people will congregate, visitor centers and all stuff like that, those have closed. Sorry about all this rain. This is a terrible way to make a video. Maybe I'll get here and just turn the camera around and talk to you more. So I'm going to stop talking for now. But we don't know what the status is going to be when true RV season for most people starts. Alright, bye for now. GoPro stop. Well, it's good to see I'm not the only person that's still getting out and about, going to the park. This state park has a little campground. Let's see if it's open. I see an RV up there. There's a tent. So there are people still camping. There's another tent. More than I expected. I like to think these are regular campers, but you never know. They could be hiding out from Corona. But like I said, I heard for some people, there's quite a few people here. I read that, I believe it was New Mexico has closed all of their state parks. And New Mexico state parks, from what I know, stay pretty busy this time of year. People escaping the cold. Somebody put in a comment that Florida has closed all of their state parks. They're open, they're day use, but their campgrounds have closed. there are people still out RVing. So with RV season coming up, one thing we have to keep in mind is you're gonna have to do extra research, because if this goes on longer than I think it's gonna, it could affect where people are gonna stay, you know. if they're closing all the parks. I know that there are tons of people that love to do those big RV get-togethers, you know, whatever brand RV you have, they have big meetups and stuff like that. And most of those have been shut down at this point that are going on this right now. Again, as for the future, I don't know any more than you do. All right, that's enough. This rain is just inopportune. All right, YouTubers, so this has not turned out exactly how I had planned. I wanted to go out and walk through nature and sit on a rock and do some rambling and stuff like that. But right now it does not appear that the rain is going to stop. So since I'm here, I'll ramble here. I'll ramble on camera instead of, you know, a windshield just covered in rain that you can't see anything at all. If it clears up and stops, maybe I'll start over and repeat it all outside. Who knows? Who knows? Nobody knows, because it's coronavirus. We don't know anything that's going on. And I think that's the reason why so many people are freaking out so much, is because they don't know. And lack of knowledge in human beings makes them very dangerous. As I tried to say earlier, I don't know what part when I edit this I'm going to clean up to what. But, you know, I see those people losing their minds, and I laugh at them like everybody does. And then I feel sorry for them, because some people just feel so out of control. They don't know what to do. So they get online and they read some idiot somewhere told them this is what caused it, or this is what you do. Like I said, people drinking friggin' bleach, you know. So don't do that. Don't go to social media looking to solve your ills. There are smart people out there with good information. But again, I think we're at the situation right now where, like I said earlier, use what your grandma told you, you know. Just use your head. And don't freak out. I think for me, what's scary is, sure, this is bad. We don't know how bad. We don't know what, you know, some people end of days, some people shut up, there's nothing to worry about. But we don't know. But even what looks like worst case scenario, most people are going to be fine. Imagine if it was something where they said, most people ain't going to be fine. There'd be people killing each other for a can of beans and stuff. Because people freak out. So what do we know? We know that it's disrupting everything. In Ohio, they've closed all the schools. I think 30-some states have closed all their schools as of March 18th. They canceled our election the other day. I think that was the smart thing to do. You know, if you're telling everybody don't go out to drink, don't go out to eat, don't go get in groups of people, but yeah, go vote, you know, there's a better way to get people to vote, which people should vote. Erring on the side of caution when you don't have any information is kind of the smart thing to do. I did videos in the past, you know, when people a lot of times will get excited about an RV and I want to be an RVer, and they'll just jump in without knowing anything. Kind of similar to this. You make your best decisions in life when you have information. And it's really hard to make solid, good choices when you don't have any information, when you don't know. So this, like everything, track down reputable sources. Don't get your information from Facebook. People should stop getting information from Facebook. And if you do, you have to check everything somebody's telling you. Track down to make sure what somebody says is actually true. And there will probably, I will ask people not to, but there will probably be people in all kinds of YouTube videos posting comments like they know all the answers. Because apparently world-renowned scientists have nothing better to do than make comments on random YouTube pages. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing that. So just be careful. You know, somebody's going to tell you hand sanitizer, it will save you from everything. And you'll have somebody else say hand sanitizer is worse than not doing anything. Just listen to professionals. That's why they're professionals, because they've studied and they've learned things that some of us don't know. I can teach you how to make fire starters because I think I know how to do it, but I'm not going to give you valuable information on how to protect your health. So all that said, upcoming RV season, again, we don't know. Do research, and you should be getting out and getting exercise, staying away from people. You know, you can wave to somebody as you walk away 6-10 feet apart. Doesn't make you crazy, just makes you cautious. I read that Yosemite is open, but all the places people congregate are closed. A lot of people boondock and shouldn't have much problem doing that. Shouldn't. Again, we don't know. I haven't heard of BLM land closing. But again, you want to avoid large groups of people. And then, you know, the thought I had was, sure, you might be able to go somewhere where you can still boondock, but everything I've heard is this virus is gonna float around. You know, it's not gonna sweep across every area at the same time. So as you're traveling, you may move in and out of areas where you may pick it up. And again, most likely you won't get sick, but you could take it and give it to somebody that might. And as we know, RVing, there's a lot of older people RVing, so they obviously have to take precautions and think of that. If you're going to areas you don't know, what if you do get sick? Not on your deathbed sick, but sick enough where you might need to go to a doctor. Well, you're in an unfamiliar area and you don't know what to do. So those are things to consider. Again, I'm hoping that in 2 months, this is a video I'm ashamed of and I take down because nothing happened. That would be far better than looking back in this video in time and saying, wow, didn't think anything was going to happen. You know, I'm going to take a break and think, because I like to think before I say something. Again, if you go out, you could end up getting into a situation where you might have a difficulty getting food. You know, places might close. It's, I guess that thought comes into my mind because I know there's a lot of people out there when they RV, they plan everything out. They make reservations, lots of people, and if you do, there's nothing wrong with it. They make reservations and have set days that they plan on going from point A to B to C. And I've never been like that. I said in a video recently that what I tend to do is, say I have a big trip planned, like I went to North Dakota from Ohio, did a big loop. I will, where I think I'll go each day, I will go and research options on where I can stay, because again, I travel with the pets. So in the summer, it gets too hot without air for them in most times. So I tend to do campgrounds or places that I can get electricity. And I had to make a change because I couldn't get to a certain area because I didn't have any place to stay. That's going to be a harder thing to do now. That's what logic tells you. If this is still going on in a couple, 3 months, it's going to make that difficult. And then I've also said I'm not a big Walmart parking lot fan. I've done it a couple times just to sleep. I can't stay there. I don't like it. I know there are people that basically move into Walmart parking lots. They'll stay there a day or two. I can't do it. I just don't like it. And because of the pets, I can't sleep well. You know, they're hearing noises and they're moving around everywhere. But I bring up Walmart because there are rumors. You don't know what's going to happen. Again, none of us know. But they have huge parking lots that they might be used for other things if this spread is still ongoing. They could be setting up places for people to get tested. They could be staging equipment in Walmart. You don't know what's going to happen. So that's something, again, we don't know, but it's something to consider. When I've stayed at places, I stay at more gas stations if I'm going to sleep there, like truck stops, but I don't go in the back with the trucks because, they stay running, and to me, there's no way you're going to sleep there. But since I'm in a van, it's small enough I can park out front. And again, I don't like doing that. I'm going RVing for nature. So I try to camp along the way, and not doing asphalt camping. I have no desire to do that. I don't enjoy it at all. I know the money part of it. I just don't like doing it. What you might find yourself having to do is, I would think that private campgrounds will probably have a better chance of staying open if this continues on, because anything run by the state or by the federal government, they're going to be worried about liability if they don't close them. So I would assume, again, because we don't know, the title of this video should be, we don't know. But private campgrounds, community campgrounds, you might have to get on the phone, you might have to get online, you might have to check to see if they're going to be open. And all of this sounds funny, but if you're taking a long cross-country trip, you get to an area where there's really no options for you, there's not going to be a lot of places that are going to be cool with 140-foot Class A's parking in a neighborhood. You know what I mean? There's just a lot of people aren't going to like that. Or it's a possibility because, again, we don't know. We don't know anything. All right, I don't know how well you can hear that, but it started raining harder, so I am not going out there to sit on a rock and show you something pretty, to ramble about stuff that basically comes down to, I don't know. So in many ways, we're probably overreacting. Hopefully, my biggest hope is we're overreacting. But I think you have to keep in mind, America's not the healthiest country in the world, I think we lead the world in heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and all of those, asthma. You have to keep in mind, again, that you're probably going to be fine, but what if you pass it to somebody who passes it to somebody else that has asthma or emphysema or heart disease, and their reactions are going to be a lot worse than yours will be. So I think it comes back to that whole, we are all in this together, we're a society, and sometimes you have to make choices for other people. And I used to be different, but now I'm not the person that needs to be around tons of people already. I mean, there's people that have been quarantined for 2 days now, and they're already losing their damn minds. I don't suffer from that, but it'd be nice to hang out with people. But you do what you can, and hopefully, if as many of us do it, we can break that chain. But there's a lot of places really freaking out. And what gives me the most pause is when virologists, people that really know this stuff, when they're the ones freaking out the most. Hopefully, when it's all said and done, they were worried about worst case scenarios, and we don't get to worst case scenarios. And if we don't, we shouldn't blame anybody, because their actions of getting us to kind of separate from each other may have been what made it not as bad as it could have been. And in turn, some people will say, see, it was nothing. Well, no, the actions they took may have helped it not turn into what they fear it could be. Again, what they're saying, 80% of the people are going to be fine. 10 to 15% are going to get pretty sick, and 5% could be in a lot of trouble. That's a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, if you break it down to 100 people, that 5 of them could die, could get really, really sick, close to death, or die. 5 out of 100, that's a lot. If you're one of those 5, you know, or if your grandmother's one of those 5, or your grandfather, or your cousin who has asthma or diabetes, you know. So that's what this is all about. If it messes up an RV season, it messes up an RV season. I know somebody else said that, you know, Canadians, a lot of Canadians go down to Florida in the winter, that a lot of them are heading back to get back home. And then we saw that whole thing of all the people overseas coming back to the States, and then they're all standing right next to each other in the airport. What's that? Let's hope that doesn't turn out to be something that we talk about in a year or two. Don't touch your face! Don't touch your face! All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. I really didn't say anything, but I do want to say, eat healthy, eat well, exercise, stay safe, talk to people on the phone, FaceTime people. Don't crawl into a cave, but keep some distance between other people. Do stuff you enjoy. Don't forget to watch funny movies that are going to make you laugh. You know, because we all need to just chill out a little bit and relax. Stay aware. And everything should be all right. Right? I hope everybody out there is going to be all right. I hope mentally all right and physically all right. And this too shall pass, as my grandmother always used to say. And it will. And hopefully we have learned something on the other side. And hopefully it won't be as bad as it could be or can be. I hope you enjoyed this, whatever this was. Basically, however many minutes long of me saying, oh, I don't know. I know that I'm going to try to do the best I can not to make anybody sick. Because as I said earlier, I have to fight that inner feeling of not thinking this is nothing. Because since I honestly, I don't get sick. I have to fight that idea of like, you know, forget all this nonsense. I know I'm going to be fine. Well, I don't know. and I sure don't want to make anybody else sick. So be kind to each other, laugh a little bit, and don't freak out. Don't drink bleach. Leave some toilet paper for the rest of us. I have a fear that I had bought toilet paper, like, because people need to know. I bought toilet paper before this started, so I'm fine. And well, I have a fear now that if I do need to buy it, I'm going to be too embarrassed to go buy toilet paper, you know? So I'll just go without it. Because, you know, I don't want that to receive that look of here's another crazy person, you know? But, leave toilet paper for the rest of us. Wash your hands. Stay away from sick people. If you're sick, stay away from healthy people. And, you'll get through this. All right, that's all I got. I still hope you have a great and wonderful day. I hope you stay healthy, safe, and warm. Have a great and wonderful day. I guess with all this talk of planning, I should have checked the friggin' Weather Channel to see if this was worthy of a trip. It's weird that I broke my habit of never being on camera. I just did a video saying how much I dislike that, and then I do a video of being on camera. But I'm going to try to post some videos because I know there's good people out there that enjoy them, and during these times, that might be a good little thing to give people a couple minutes of calm the F down. Yay! I just wanted to show you that. And apologize for wussing out and not wanting to go out in the rain. Oh, here's another little puddle. Let's see if we can give you some splash. Hey, you saw it. Basically, ask yourself, how bad do you want to go RVing? And then do whatever's going to make you comfortable and enjoy it. Relax. Make yourself laugh at something. Stop fretting. And Jesus, don't drink any bleach. Great, wonderful day. There's a sign back there that they're building a new bridge. I guess they stay working. That's good to see. It's really good to see people still being able to work. Oh, I wanted to add one little thing. If you watch my channel for a while, you know I never want to take money or anything like that from people. A lot of people do. If you're in a position, try helping some people that are going to need some help. There's a lot of people that are going to be out of work, and there's a lot of charities out there that can help people get food and stuff like that. So if you're feeling the need to contribute, there are people out there that sure are going to need some help. So let's all try to help everybody get through this, because even if the medical side of it doesn't impact everyone, it sure looks like the financial side is gonna. So keep that in mind, and if you help somebody else, it'll make you have a great and wonderful day. Also, you know, we have to thank all the healthcare providers and stuff like that, but also thank the people like at the grocery stores. You know what I'm saying?